April 17, 1961, 14:23 hours. At Cuba's secret listening station, radio operator Carlos Mendez trembled as he removed his headphones. The conversation he had just heard would change the course of history. The highest-level CIA agents were discussing plans to assassinate Fidel Castro over an open channel. But they didn't know something. Every word was being recorded, and Fidel had just walked into the room. Subscribe to the channel to discover unknown secrets about Fidel Castro, and turn on notifications to learn something new every day. Carlos Mendez had been working as a radio operator in Cuban intelligence for 3 years. But the conversation he heard today was the most impactful moment of his life. In the headphones were 2 voices speaking in English. They used CIA codes, but Carlos could decipher them. Delta Base to Alpha Command. Operation Castro in final phase. Alpha Command receiving. Is Playa Girón just a distraction? Affirmative. Real operation in Havana. Target: Fidel Castro, Raúl Castro, Che Guevara. Elimination time: 72 hours. Carlos's heart raced. This wasn't just an invasion. It was an assassination plan. Received. Assassination team ready. Team Alpha in the city. Team Bravo around the palace. Team Charlie ready for family targets. Carlos held his breath. What did family targets mean? Clarify family targets. All members of Fidel's family. Wife. Children. Brother Ramon. Clean operation. But the most shocking part was, Carlos made sure the recorder was working. This conversation must go into history. Delta Base with final update. Internal source confirmed. What internal source? Our man at the palace. Code name: Red Cardinal. Providing Castro's daily schedule in real time. Carlos froze. There was a CIA agent at the palace. Is Red Cardinal reliable? 3 years providing information. Never wrong. He even knows where Castro will be tonight. Perfect. Tonight we finish this. Carlos removed the headphones. He was drenched in sweat. He needed to warn the Comandante immediately. But at that moment the door opened. Just at this point everything changed. Fidel Castro entered the room. With him was Security Chief Antonio Núñez. Carlos, how is everything going? Asked Fidel. Carlos stood up trembling. Comandante. There's an urgent situation. What happened? I heard the CIA. They were talking about you. Fidel's face hardened. What did they say? Carlos pointed to the recorder. Everything is here. But it's very bad news. Let's listen. Carlos rewound the tape, put it on the speaker. The conversations in English filled the room. Fidel's face became increasingly pale. Translate for me, Carlos. It says that Playa Girón is fake. The real target is to kill you. In 72 hours. Antonio stepped forward. Impossible. The palace's security is perfect. Carlos continued. They're also targeting your family, Comandante. Your wife, children, brother Ramon. Fidel's fists clenched. And they have spies at the palace. Code name Red Cardinal. Reports your schedule every minute. Fidel turned toward Antonio. Who could it be? I don't know, Comandante. Very few people know your schedule. Wait a moment. Don't miss this detail. Fidel sat at the table. Carlos, listen to that conversation again. Take notes on every detail. Carlos replayed the tape. This time he was taking notes. Team Alpha in the city. Team Bravo around the palace. Team Charlie family targets. Wait, said Fidel. Where is Team Charlie? Carlos listened. Vedado district. Near the family safe house. Fidel was shocked. Only 5 people know about the family safe house. Who? Asked Antonio. Me, you, Raul, Celia, and... He stopped. And who? Dr. Vallejo. The family doctor. Antonio suspected. He's very close to the inner circle. Impossible. No one is impossible, said Fidel. Carlos, continue with the recording. Red Cardinal has been providing information for 3 years. Never wrong. 3 years. Fidel thought. Who started working 3 years ago? Antonio calculated. Late 1958. There are many people. New employees after the revolution. No. People very close to me. Who arrived 3 years ago? At that moment Carlos heard something else. Red Cardinal confirmed tonight. Castro will be alone in his private office at 2100 hours. Fidel's blood ran cold. Tonight at 2100 hours, I'm scheduled to be alone in my office. Who knows this? Antonio panicked. Secretary Maria, me, Raul. When did Maria start working? 3 years ago. You still haven't seen the biggest surprise. Fidel immediately had Maria summoned. She was a young, beautiful, and intelligent woman. For 3 years she had been Fidel's most trusted secretary. Maria, who knows about my schedule tonight? Maria seemed innocent. Just the normal schedule, Comandante. 2100 hours document review in the office. Does no one else know? No. I keep it very confidential. Fidel tested her. And how is the situation at the family safe house? Maria's eyes flickered for a moment. What safe house, Comandante? Don't you know? Yesterday you planned for me to go there. I don't remember. Antonio approached. Maria, how did you arrive here 3 years ago? From the university. I had good references. Who gave you references? Maria began to sweat. Professor Garcia. Political Science Department. Fidel stood up. Professor Garcia fled to America 4 years ago. Maria's face turned white. So, continued Fidel, your reference came from a man who didn't exist. I can explain. Explain then. Who is Red Cardinal? Maria collapsed. She began to cry. You won't believe this, but I'm not Red Cardinal, said Maria, crying. Then who is? I don't know. But I was also giving information. Fidel was shocked. To whom? To a CIA contact. Code name Blue Rose. What information? Your schedule, meetings, family locations. Antonio became angry. You're a traitor. No. They forced me, shouted Maria. My brother is in Miami. They were going to kill him. Fidel approached. So who is Red Cardinal? I don't know. But I know this. It's someone very close. Because they know things I don't. Carlos interrupted. Comandante, the tape continues. There's more information. Fidel listened. Red Cardinal confirmed. Castro today will have a meeting with Che. 15:30. Fidel's mind stopped. Only one person knows about this meeting. Who? Che. The room fell into silence. What you're seeing now is nothing. Fidel immediately had Che summoned. 10 minutes later, Che arrived. Fidel, you said there was an urgent meeting? Yes. Listen to this. Fidel put on the tape. Che's face changed as he listened. This is a CIA conversation. Yes. And you are Red Cardinal. What? Che jumped up. Are you crazy? This tape talks about my meeting with you today. 15:30. Only you knew this. This is impossible. So how do they know? Che thought. Maybe they have other ways. Carlos interrupted. Commandante, there's another conversation. Let's listen. New voices on the tape. Is Red Cardinal's identity secure? Absolutely. The subject suspects nothing. Perfect double agent. Good. Continue using the subject. After the assassination, blame the Soviets for everything. Che was shocked. Who is the subject? Carlos translated. It means Red Cardinal is a double agent being used, and that person doesn't know they work for the CIA. When they thought everything had ended, Fidel understood. So Red Cardinal is not a CIA agent. It's someone the CIA is using. Yes. And that person doesn't know they're providing information. So how are they obtaining the information? Carlos found another detail on the tape. Surveillance devices. Multiple locations. It means there are listening devices. Antonio panicked. Where? They could be anywhere. Office, cars, safe houses. Fidel turned toward Maria. How were you giving information to Blue Rose? Dead drop. In Vedado Park. Every Monday. Is there no other contact? No. But something strange. What? Last week Blue Rose told me. We no longer need information. We have another source. Fidel understood. It means the listening devices are working. Che asked. So what will we do now? Fidel stopped the tape. First we'll find these devices. Then we'll give the CIA a surprise. The technical team swept the entire palace. In 6 hours they found 12 listening devices. Fidel gathered them and made a plan. Carlos, you will transmit on the CIA frequency. False information. What will I say? That I changed my plans. Not tonight, but tomorrow morning at the safe house. Understood. Fidel prepared his team. The CIA teams will fall into the trap, and we will capture them. At 2100 hours Carlos transmitted. Urgent update from Red Cardinal. Castro's location changed. Tomorrow 8 o'clock. Safe house Vedado. 30 minutes later the CIA responded. Received. Teams repositioning. Operation postponed 12 hours. Fidel smiled. The trap is ready. The CIA teams fell into the ambush at the expected location. Cuban forces were ready. Operation completed. 8 CIA agents captured. Equipment confiscated. But the real surprise came after the interrogation. The CIA team leader spoke. Playa Girón is just the beginning. The real plan is much bigger. What do you mean? We're only the advance team. The main force arrives tomorrow. Fidel was shocked. Playa Girón was just the beginning. The attack on Playa Girón began. But Fidel was prepared. Thanks to the CIA recordings, he repelled the attack in 3 days. He asked Carlos, "And what will happen to Maria?" She proved she was forced. Do we give her a second chance? Fidel thought. The surveillance devices were also listening to her. It means she was also a victim. Do we forgive her? Yes. But she will work in another department. Carlos continued working at the listening center. But now each day, he listened to the new plans of the CIA. Fidel asked him, "Do they have other plans?" "Yes, Comandante. 638 different plans." 638? To kill you. I'm listening to all of them. Fidel laughed. Then we will win 638 times. And he really did win. Because sometimes listening to your enemy is more effective than fighting against them. On April 17, 1961, a radio operator changed history. By listening to the CIA's most secret plans, he saved Fidel Castro's life and the Cuban Revolution. From that day on, Cuba knew every plan of America in advance. Because sometimes the best weapon is not silence, but listening.